So what do we do then? Firstly, we remember my Charger Boats currently is just a lead. Yeah, so it's in my open leads. Now I want to create a proposal. In order to do this, first step, I need to create, what is it? Customer. At first, I need to create a customer to link it to, but deal will be the next step. Yeah. So in this case, let's.
So every lead is a customer.
No, every lead will be, every deal will be linked to a customer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, so I cannot link a lead to a customer. I have to create a customer, and this customer might be multiple leads.
That's correct. That's correct. Okay, so in this case, I will create Charger Boats. So let's assume my customer is exactly the same as my future tenant. I select type. In this case, it's non-major. Status is active. And then I can specify the sales category. This parent is when you have a complex hierarchy of legal entity kind of customer relationship. So one company owns another company that owns Starbucks, let's say. Yeah, in majority of cases, it will not be applicable here. But in this case, I will specify sales category, which will be entertainment.
Hello? Yeah, center. Under Mitsubishi Agency or
Okay, so
it's not under family entertainment, maybe some.
perfect. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so now we created a customer. Now we are good to convert a lead into a deal. So what we do, we actually navigate to our lead, or we click on home page, go to our open leads. So in this case, this Charger Boats. What I do, I click on convert, yeah, because I already created a customer. Now, the first page, what I have to populate here is, if I didn't populate it on the lead, I would have to select a property, but I already did it on the lead. I linked it to Alcazba, so it will appear here. The next step will be customer. Customer, I just created it. It will be Charger Boats. Now, what I can do, I can start typing Charger, and the system will show all the selections, yeah? So remember, if you click on this, let's say you just click on customer, the system will show you the top 10. So don't try to look. You either have to click on more results and find it there from the full list of customers, or you need to start typing. Yeah? I always prefer to type. The next step will be brand. Brand can probably more likely is like your customer. Yeah? So I can choose to populate it. Otherwise, it's not mandatory. Yeah, all the red asterisk ones are mandatory. The next one is deal stage. Don't change it. It will be changed automatically once you progress through the workflow. Now, doing business as, this is what will appear on your actual proposal document. So make sure it is, for example, I think Charger and Boats should be capital.
But I think it's automatically shows now.
This is based on
Because
the
when I
Yeah,
move
password here.
to this step, it automatically shows in my screen.
Yeah.
Because you probably specified it elsewhere. Yeah.
Very important.
Okay, so this amendment name, again, it's for information purposes. You can choose to call that amendment, give it a name. Otherwise, it's not mandatory. Yeah, it doesn't have any impact. It's for your navigation simplicity. Yeah. The next thing is lease type. Lease type, I select retail, and if I select any of those, additional field will appear, which is sales category. So I have to specify what is the sales category. In this case, it will be family entertainment. Yeah, family entertainments. Now the leasing agent is auto-attached. Yeah, and the leasing agent in this case is the person who is the originator. Yeah, so I'm acting as Rolla, that's why it shows Rolla.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, once this is done, And if all the required fields are populated, I click next. If I make a mistake at any point in time and I don't populate something that is mandatory, let's say I remove this and I go next, you see this,
Missing information.
there is missing information, yeah. So once I come to confirmation, the system will not allow me to save it, yeah. So what I need to do, I need to go back and say and populate that field. Okay, charger boats. Now, if I click next, this field is green, so it's fine. The blue field means where I am currently at. If I want to jump, I can jump, but only after confirmation. Yeah, so this confirmation will actually save that conversion. If I, prior to that, leave this screen, it will still be a lead. Once I'm past confirmation, there is no lead, it's a deal. Yeah? So make sure if you want to kind of, at this stage, stop entering data, you need to get to confirmation step. Now in the term, I will specify move-in date. Move-in date will be, what's the move-in date, everyone?
Fit out.
Pre-fit out date, yeah. So in this case, I will make it 18 days and I will specify move-in on the 1st of January 2017. Yeah? Okay, then possession date is the start of the billing. Yeah, in this case, it will equal the start date. Okay, then I click next. At this point, I am saving it. The conversion is done. Then I can always come back to that proposal. I cannot prior to this step. Yeah, so I hit save. Saving is in progress. Okay. Now, if I close it, you will see there is already a deal, Sharjah boats, but there is no lead anymore. Yeah, it's gone, it's converted. So what I do now, I can start specifying my rent and units here, and you see the workflow was already attached. The workflow was already attached because we saved the item. Yeah? So what I do, I click edit, and then I go further. Okay, now I start where I finished. Yeah, now I can save it. The next step is, this is very important. What type of contact must I have in order for the proposal letter to work? Does anyone remember?
What type of contact?
Yes,
What that means?
Billing.
exactly, it's billing. That's what it means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so in this case I have Hilal Mohammed. So what I need to do, and this was, we had no billing contact on the lead, because we might have more than one contact and they might be leasing. But at a certain point in time, before generating proposal, we must decide who that letter is addressed to. And in this case, we come here and assume we had two leasing contacts. On one of them, we'll change it to billing. Yeah. So we do roll and we select billing. Hit save, and then proposal letter will show the information. We also need to remember that on that billing, we need to have
PO box.
PO box. Yeah. So we go here and we'll populate postal code will be 25, and then we populate
Where should we go? To add the PO box? Just
contact. Yeah.
Then change the.
Where would we change it? We would change it in an object to which that billing role is associated, which is a contact. Yeah? So we hit save. And now we need to go back to our deal. Now if I click home, I will see that I don't have a lead anymore, but I have it in my deals. So I scroll, and here it is, Sharjah Boats. I click on the hyperlink, it takes me there. Yep. Okay, but this takes me to the deal. But within deal there is proposal, and the proposal is the actual letter that we are building. Yeah, it's what next will become an amendment. So we click here, and we press view, and then we click edit. And we are back in our workflow. Yeah? So units was populated. Currently I'm at contacts, okay, units. We had 2 selected. So in this case, I will build for 2, yeah? Let's say they decided to actually rent 2 units. I just want to recap what we need to do next. Okay, so then I press next, and here's the 2 or 3, I should say, most important fields. Rent, retail, and other terms. The rent, we press add schedule, and here we can add 3 types of schedules. Rent, CAM, what does CAM stand for? Service charge. And miscellaneous?
Or
Marketing or anything else, yeah? But the important point here, it's a schedule. So it's not an ad hoc charge. Don't add ad hoc charges here. Ad hoc charges ask accountants to create, yeah? But in this case, we specify, and I prefer to start with input as calculated, yeah? Because the system will calculate all the steps for you, and then you can manually make changes. So the first one is rent. I select the charge code, which is base rent, or for example, it might be external area or storage, but it will be line shops in majority of cases. The next, units. If I leave it blank, some of you had 1 unit and you still specified a unit. You can do that, it doesn't hurt, but you need to populate this unit only in case you have more than 1 unit and you want to build separate charge schedules for those units. If I leave it blank, whatever I specify as starting amount will apply to both. If I want to build them separately, as in case, for example, with external area, then I would specify it as 1. Yeah? Okay, starting amount will be, let's say, 100,000. First increase. When do we populate first increase? Only if we... When?
if we have, for example, it depends after 2 years or 3
Yeah,
years or
yeah,
there is
yeah. If we specify in the steps, let's say 12, an increase by 5%, but we don't want this first increase, we can specify first increase should be on this date. In this case, if we populate that, for the first 24 months, the same amount will be billed. Yeah? We might, instead of step every number of months, we can specify years, yeah, just by clicking years, but I think it's easy conversion, yeah. And then instead of percentage increase, we can have fixed amount increase. So in this case, I will say increase by 3,000. Yeah? Now, what is very important, these dates, don't change them unless you want to stop billing before the lease expiry. Let's say this one, end date, this is the end of our lease, but if we want the last 3 months not to be billed, we can actually change it. We can say no, it will be, end date will be 11th, 17th, 2019. What that will mean is up until here, the system will be billing, and last 3 months, so last 2 months, sorry, in this case, will be free. Yeah? So we can do that as well. The next important step is billing frequency. Billing frequency will depend on the number of PVCs. Usually for rent, it's 4 checks. We select quarterly. For service charge, let's now create service charge.
service and marketing annually.
Yes. Yep. So in order to specify a service charge schedule, we must select this schedule type as CAM and specify new charge code. You see it defaulted to service charge, but in case you have like utilities, you can specify those, but usually it's service charge. Then again, we have 2 units. If I leave it blank, it will apply to both. In this case, I will apply it to both. Yeah. The next step, starting amount, let's say 40,000. and there is no increase. If I leave everything blank, 40,000 will be applied
For 3 years.
for 3 years. Yeah? Now billing frequency will be annually. Done? Okay, that's good. Now the last step, we can add marketing. We click on add charge, select miscellaneous, charge code defaults, but we can change it to if it's other rental, multimedia, other rental promotions. This is the only selection you have, yeah? So again, if we don't specify units, it will apply to both. Starting amount 15,000, and there is no escalation, let's say, yeah? Now, I will leave this billing frequency as annually because we are collecting one PDC. Done? That's it. Now the retail part, the retail, at first we add the retail header. We add it only in case there is that, percentage rent. If there is no percentage rent, you don't need to bother. The system will just be billing this and there will be no percentage rent at the end. Now description, I like to put turnover rent and the percentage. Let's say it's 8%. Sales report will be monthly, but billing and breakpoint for you in majority of cases it will be annual. Make sure you change it, because otherwise finance will be kind of in trouble, yeah, because they will come to the end when they're supposed to do the billing, but the billing had to be done monthly, effectively, yeah? So change it billing and breakpoint as annually. Then in the sales year end, you will specify when the lease actually ends. In this case, it is January. And month begin date will be 18th. That's correct. Okay. Now, once this is done, I can press save, but that's not it, because I still need to add formula. I need to tell the system how are we going to calculate that percentage rent. Sales type is always retail, you have just one. Offset type will be accounts. And then you specify what is the account in which the system should look to find out what was the base rent. In this case, as on the charge schedule we specified base rent line shop, we need to make it here. If we want, we can specify more than one. Then we select breakpoint type as natural, which means we're not building any kind of schedule. We're not saying that up to a certain sales we are billing X and then we start billing Y. No, we are saying just go look what sits against the charge code for that tenant at the end of the year, pull the sales table, calculate the percentage that we specify here, it's 8%, calculate it and then compare it to the actual base rent. If it's higher, then do the billing. If it's less, ignore it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we have done. And in this case, we added everything in terms of retail. We have our overage formula. We have our header. Now we go to the last step, which is other terms. Here the trick is, and this mistake has been made more than once, this security deposit months.
Right.
It's the number of months. It's actually 3 months if 25%, yeah? Fit out days will specify as, let's say, 18 days it was in my case. Fit out amount will be 9,000. Use clause. What, and this will be on the proposal, and this will be on terms and conditions, both in Arabic and English. This will be on pretty much everything. And you have to specify what are they required to use those premises for. In this case, it is Sharjah boats only. I'm not sure what they do. I guess they are just, trips. Yeah, boat trips. Yeah. and in brackets boat trips, no selling stuff, you know, whatever. Condition of premises, shell and core. Security deposit we already specified. Late opening penalty and rent offer validity will be on the proposal. So late opening penalty is 2,000 and rental offer validity 7 days. Once we are done, we press next. This is the last step. Workflow completes. Yeah. So now we have our proposal. Okay, at this stage, before we even move to lease, we might decide to capture trade license or insurance information. We can come back to the deal and specify it, and then it will be pulled into the lease. For example, I can specify company name and permitted use in Arabic. So what I do, I click company name, I hit add, and then you start typing in Arabic that I have no idea, something. Okay, so you type it in, and then it will be pulled in the lease, and it will be on your terms and conditions. Yeah. Okay. Now the next step, we want to actually check: have we completed everything correctly? And you know, most important things like rent schedule and turnover rent, you will have to rely on leasing managers to check, and you need to be careful. But a lot of things you can check by clicking and generating proposal. So just click on mail merge, select your template category as letter, here report type as proposal, click on proposals. It will tell you this is the proposal that we have for that deal. Click on merge and press merge document. At this stage, the system will generate a proposal letter for you. So here you can check if you correctly attached the billing contact. You will see the information, the address and the name. If you didn't, it will be blank. So just go and change the contact type to billing. Then you will have your charge of boats, your size, which is the 2 units combined. You will have term, you will have fit out period, pretty much everything. This will be security deposit. Now, here you will have percentage rent, yeah? Pretty much everything. Here's validity in days, all that kind of stuff, yeah? So that's done. If you are happy with it, you can go ahead. You don't need to attach it and email it, because your superior who is checking and who is approving will be able to do the same thing, yeah? So what you need to do at this stage, you need to go back to the proposal or deal. Just click on here. Click on proposals, and you will see, once you go into it, you will see there is an ongoing workflow. That's how you send it to the next level. If you want someone to check, just give them the deal name. If you want to cross-check, for example, Lucinda asks Rola to check, or vice versa, you just ask each other to log in and have a look. Yeah? At this stage, we are happy. You know, we think we've done everything correctly. What we do, we click on ongoing workflow, and we send it to the next step. Move to next step, approval by leasing manager. If you hit cancel, that's it. You can no longer do anything with that proposal. Yeah. So you click approve by leasing manager. You can specify completion notes, and you know, for example, proposal was generated, let's say. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, and you press confirm, and that's it. This table is updated. It is now with Albert and Inderjeet, and they will receive notifications, and that's done. Which database are you using? Test? You need to log in and test. Yeah, not VAT as previously. Just try. Okay, that's it. Now when I go to that proposal, because it's already within their JIT, I can no longer change base rent. I can no longer change anything. Yeah, it's already gone. It's not in my. It's not in my domain. It sits with. Yeah, you see here, I can't. There is no edit button for me to go back in the workflow. That's it. Yeah. What I can do, I can change contact details. Yeah, I can change other terms or add additional attachments, but that's it. But as far as financial information, that's it.
In the final proposal.
Okay, let me just stop the.